All right, ready to dive into some seriously futuristic stuff. We're talking AI agents that can use computers just like we do.
Like actually moving the mouse and everything?
Yeah, clicking, typing, even coding the whole 9 yards.
Okay, now that's impressive. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, there's this company, Anthropic. They're doing some really interesting things in this space. They've just announced this new AI agent built right into their Claude 3.5 AI models, specifically the sonnet variation.
Anthropic, right, I've heard of them. They're the ones backed by, like, Amazon and Google.
That's the one.
Here.
So let's get down to brass tacks. What can this AI, Claude, actually do on a computer?
Well, imagine this. You tell your computer, hey, plan a sunrise height for me tomorrow morning. Find a good spot, not too far from here, check the weather, make sure I have enough time to get there before the sun comes up, and put it on my calendar. And then bam, your computer just does it?
Wait, seriously? It searches the web, checks maps, opens your calendar app. No way.
All of that. It's wild. It's not just writing code in a text editor. It's actually using the code, executing tasks.
So it's not just about generating text, it's actually interacting with applications.
Exactly. It can pull data from spreadsheets, fill out forms. There's even a demo where Claude builds a basic website, deploys it, and then checks if it's working.
No way. Okay, you've officially blown my mind. But how does it even work? Does it, have tiny robot hands inside my computer, or what?
No, not quite. Think of it more like Claude is looking over your shoulder, watching how you use the computer and learning from that.
So learning by example, just like a human would.
Exactly. It sees your screen through screenshots, figures out what's going on, and then turns your instructions into computer commands.
That is fascinating. So it's basically teaching itself how to use a computer just by observing us.
Well, it's still in the early stages, but yeah. Though there have been some pretty funny moments during testing.
Like what?
Apparently, during a coding demo, Claude got bored and started browsing photos of Yellowstone National Park.
Haha, even AI needs a break sometimes. But seriously, this feels like a huge step towards what they're calling agent AI. Right? AIs that can actually do stuff on their own.
You got it. This isn't just about answering questions or writing emails anymore. This is AI potentially changing how we work, how we interact with computers, maybe even how we live our lives.
Okay, let's be real for a sec. Is this thing actually any good at using a computer? I mean, come on, it can't be as good as a human, right?
Well, not yet anyway. Anthropic is pretty upfront about it.
Yeah.
The computer use feature is still in public beta, so yeah, it makes mistakes.
So how do they know how good it is? Do they, give it a test or something?
They do. They put Claude through something called the OS World Benchmark. It basically measures how well an AI can use a computer, how well it can follow instructions and complete tasks.
What were the results? Spill the tea.
So most humans score somewhere between 70 and 75% on this benchmark.
Okay, that makes sense.
Claude, on the other hand, only scored 14.9%. So yeah, still a ways to go.
But wait, hold on. 14.9% is still pretty impressive for a computer, isn't it? I mean, think about it. It's practically double the score of any other AI in its category.
That's true. And remember, AI is evolving incredibly fast. Those numbers are going to skyrocket in the very near future you just watched.
Okay, so all of this is super exciting, but I gotta admit, the thought of giving an AI control over my computer, it makes me a bit nervous. What if it messes up? Or even worse, what if someone uses it to do something bad?
Yeah, no, I hear you. Those are totally valid concerns. And you know what? Anthropic knows that too. That's a big part of why they released this feature as a public beta.
So it's like a giant real-world experiment to see how this AI behaves outside the lab.
Exactly. By letting developers use it early on, they're hoping to find and fix any problems before this tech becomes widely available.
That's a pretty smart move. So what else are they doing to make sure it's safe?
Well, they've put in a bunch of safeguards, like they restrict access to sensitive info, and they've developed these things called classifiers.
Classifiers? What are those?
Think of them like digital bouncers for your computer. They're algorithms that can recognize patterns of behavior, like if the AI is about to do something it shouldn't.
Oh, like if it tries to access my bank account or download a virus?
Exactly. It's like having guardrails in place while the AI is still learning the rules of the road.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. But even with all these safeguards, it still feels like we're in uncharted territory.
We are. And that's exactly why it's so important to be having these conversations about the potential benefits and risks of AI.
I couldn't agree more. So let's take a step back and think about the big picture here. What happens if AI can do all the boring, repetitive stuff we do every day? What does that mean for us?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Will we embrace the possibilities and use this tech to free up our time for more creative, more meaningful things? Or will we just get lazy and let the machines take over?
Whoa, deep thoughts, but also incredibly exciting. This is the cusp of a whole new era in computing, and we're right in the middle of it.
We are. And it's up to all of us to shape this new era responsibly and thoughtfully. We were talking before about AI freeing up our time, remember?
And I bet a lot of folks listening are thinking, okay, so if a robot's going to do my job, What am I supposed to do all day?
Yeah, that's a question we hear a lot. But what if, instead of taking over jobs, we thought of it as, like, AI taking over tasks?
Okay, I'm listening. What's the difference?
Think about your workday, right? Answering emails, scheduling, paperwork, those are tasks. A job is a bunch of tasks, sure, but it's also got to have problem solving, creativity, working with people, you know.
So you're saying the AI could handle the boring stuff, and we get to focus on the more human aspects of work.
Exactly, like having a super efficient assistant who never takes a break. You're free to use your brain for the stuff AI just can't do.
Okay, I like where this is going. But let's be real. Some jobs, AI could automate a lot of it, maybe even most of it. What happens to those people?
That's a real worry. And yeah, some jobs will change big time. Some might even disappear as this tech gets better.
So what can we do? We can't just like sit around and wait for the robots to show up, right?
No way. We got to be ready to adapt. Most important, focus on skills AI can't copy. Critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, that sort of thing.
Those are valuable no matter what you do.
Exactly. And they're becoming more valuable as AI handles the technical stuff.
So how do we get better at those things?
Well, education's a big one. We need programs that teach these human-centric skills, not just the tech side. And, you know, lifelong learning. Always be learning new stuff, keeping your skills sharp.
Sounds like we need a whole new way of thinking about work at A&D school.
You got it. But it's what we got to do if we want to thrive in this future with AI everywhere, you know?
You know, we've been pretty optimistic about AI so far, but haven't really talked about the risks. What should we be careful about?
Great point. One big one is bias. AI learns from huge amounts of data, and if that data is biased, the AI will be biased too.
So like, if an AI learns from hiring decisions that were sexist or racist, it might keep making those same bad choices.
Exactly. That's just one example. There's also privacy, security, people using AI for bad stuff. We need good rules and ethical guidelines to make sure AI is used responsibly.
Makes sense. But who's in charge of that? The government? Tech companies? Both?
That's a tough one. It's going to take everyone working together. We need experts in tech, ethics, law, all sorts of fields to figure out how to develop AI responsibly. And we got to make sure regular people have a say too, you know?
Yeah, this isn't just about tech. It's about how we shape the future as a society.
You said it. AI is a tool, right? Like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It's up to us to choose.
So how do we make sure it's for good?
I think transparency is a good start. Got to be open about how these systems work, what data they use, what their biases might be.
Makes sense. And we got to make sure everyone has access to AI, not just a select few.
Totally. If we want AI to benefit everyone, it's got to be inclusive and fair.
Okay, so we've talked benefits, risks, but let's focus back on Anthropic safety stuff. You mentioned safeguards in their computer use feature. What's that all about?
Yeah, so Anthropic is serious about making AI safe and beneficial. They've even got this thing called constitutional AI.
Constitutional AI. Sounds fancy. What is that?
Basically, it's like a set of rules based on human values, you know? Honesty, helpfulness, not causing harm, fairness, that sort of thing.
So they're trying to, like, bake ethics right into the AI from the beginning.
Exactly. It's not just about tech safeguards. It's about giving AI a sense of morality.
That's pretty new, right? Has anyone else tried this?
It's still pretty new, but people are catching on. We can't just rely on tech solutions for these ethical questions. We need a bigger picture approach.
It all sounds promising, but how well does it actually work? I mean, AI is still kind of young. There's always a chance it could go wrong.
That's true. Nothing's perfect.
No.
But I think Anthropic's on the right track. They're not just building powerful AI. They're building AI that aligns with what we value as humans.
Yeah.
And that's what matters if we want a future where AI is good for everyone.
Okay, so we've covered responsible AI, but what about individuals? What can WE do to get ready for this future with AI everywhere? What skills do we need? How do we adapt to these job changes?
Those are the big questions, and I think that's what we should dive into next.
Sounds good to me. So we're back and ready to wrap things up. Been a wild ride talking about these AI agents.
It has, from planning hikes to, like, changing whole industries. A lot to think about.
For sure. And one thing's really clear to me now. This isn't just sci-fi anymore. This is happening.
Exactly. AI agents are here, and they're getting better so fast. The big question is, how do we, like, keep up? How do we make sure this tech is used for the right reasons?
Right. We can't just, like, sit back and see what happens. We've got to be shaping this future ourselves.
And that starts with knowing the good and the bad. We've talked about how AI could take over boring tasks, free up our time for more creative stuff.
But also, you know, worries about jobs, bias in AI, needing strong rules so it doesn't go off the rails.
It's complicated, lots of unknowns. But I think we got to be careful, but optimistic too. Like, this could be really good.
You know, what stuck with me is that AI, at the end of the day, is just a tool.
Exactly. And any tool, you can use it the right way or the wrong way. It's our choice which way it goes.
So how do we make sure it's the right way?
Education's got to be a big part of it. Everyone needs to understand AI, like the basics, how it works, how it affects us.
Not just the tech stuff, but the ethical side too, right?
Definitely. We got to talk openly and honestly about what values we want built into AI. How do we make sure it's developed responsibly?
And we got to think about how to prepare ourselves, our kids, for a world where AI is everywhere.
Big time. What skills will matter in that world? How do we handle these job changes?
Skills that AI can't copy, right?
Right. Critical thinking, creativity, problem solving.
Yeah.
Those human skills are going to be more important than ever.
So to everyone listening, the message is clear.
Stay curious, stay informed, stay involved. The future of AI is being written right now, and we all get to have a say.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, this is our deep dive on AI agents, folks. We hope you enjoyed it and that you're leaving with a sense of, well, awe, maybe a little worry, but mostly the feeling that we can shape this technology for good. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep learning.